WATD presents John Paul, the Car Doctor. All things automotive. Have questions? Call or text 781-837-4900. Now, here's John Paul, the Car Doctor.
And good Sunday morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Car Doctor program on 95.9 WATD, your award-winning South Shore radio station. And we're doing something different today. We have two guests on at the same time, and Larry and Rob say this will work. I hope it does. We'll figure it out from here. But we have Kang. He is from Harbor Freight Tools for Schools, and we have David Lilly. He is the 2019 Grand Prize winner from Portsmouth, New Hampshire High School. Tay and David, good morning, and welcome to the Car Doctor program.
Well, it immediately didn't work, so we lost one of them, but we have one of them on. Let's see how that goes.
All right.
Yeah, this is Tay. I'm calling in from Los Angeles. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Good
an honor
morning.
to be here.
Good morning. Yeah, apparently we lost David somewhere along the way, but we're pleased to have you on the program. First off, let's separate Harbor Freight, the place I've spent a lot of time in the last couple months, it seems like, from Harbor Freight Tools for Schools. Tell us the difference between the two.
Yeah, absolutely. So Harbor Freight Tools for Schools, our mission is to increase support, understanding, and investment in skilled trades education. And we're actually part of the Smith Foundation, right, SMIDT, which is founded by Harbor Freight Tools owner and founder Eric Smith. And so we're actually part of his philanthropic giving and not part of the company, right? We're not here to sell you tools or, market tools, but we're here to give his money away to outstanding U.S. public high school skilled trades teachers and their program.
The program seems like it has grown pretty rapidly. And I guess, first off, we should talk about the prizes. The prizes are incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. So, right, I have the great pleasure and honor of working on the annual Harbor Freight Tools for Schools Prize for Teaching Excellence, which awards a total of $2 million to 25 outstanding U.S. public high school skilled trades teachers and their program. This is the 10th year of the prize. We launched this back in 2017, and we started at $500,000 with 10 winners. And over the years, we've seen an increase, right, to $1 million to $1.5 million. And then this year, thanks to Eric's generosity and leadership, we're awarding a total of, again, $2 million, which is really exciting for us.
And the grand prize is $100,000, but that's split somewhat between the instructor and the school, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's out of those 25 teachers, there will be 5 grand prize winners who each receive $100,000, with $70,000 going to the program and $30,000 going to themselves. And then we have 20 prize winners who each receive $75,000, with $50K going to their program and $25K going to themselves. And the funds for the program do not have to be spent at Harbor Freight. The teacher can spend it however they so wish, as long as it's for their program and to continue to grow and develop and improve their program. And then the funds for themselves as individuals, they can, use it to, help pay down their mortgage or help pay their kids' college tuition or earn a much-deserved vacation. However they just don't want to spend it, it's up to them. So we give the teachers the freedom to spend the money however they can think of to improve their programs and their own lives.
And I think we have David back on. David, are you with us?
Doesn't seem to be going as planned.
All right,
I'll adjust.
Okay, you adjust, and I'll keep talking to Tay here. When we look at this, it's a fair amount of work, Tay, to do the application, right? Yes,
it is. Right. David's known this. He's gone through the application process as a winner before, but we're looking for the most outstanding and excellent skilled trades teachers across the country. Right. We know the application is rigorous. We're able to, because we want them to be able to communicate all the amazing things that are happening in their program. And, we want them to tell our judges about all the cool things that they get to do and all the cool things their students get to do by working with their hands and with tools to, build and repair and, homes and cars and all these cool things, right? And, we're looking to, this prize, we're looking to bring these winners together, right? Like David and like a lot of his, colleagues and friends, that we bring them together to form a network of, outstanding teachers to really grow and impact this sector and, help uplift skilled trades classrooms across the country. So, yeah, we're looking for the best of the best, absolutely. And we know that starts with a really rigorous and thoughtful application.
Where do schools and industry really need each other? And one number I always hear is for every 5 people that leave skilled trade, they're only being replaced with maybe 2 or 3. This is a fantastic relationship with industry and schools, but is there more of a partnership that can be done? Is there more than just kind of a long-term collaboration that can be done between, not just Harbor Freight tools for schools, but industry in general?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll talk about Harbor Freight tools for schools. Our investment in these teachers doesn't just end with the money, right? We want to continue supporting them, right? And we often think of like the prize as like the tip of the spear or like a Trojan horse in many ways for all the other ways we can collaborate. We bring these teachers together for Let's Build It. It's an annual summer convening where we show our gratitude to them for all their hard work, but also, put them to work to share ideas and best practices with each other. And it's, I think, a lot of ways that it's the best professional development that a lot of these teachers have ever experienced. And we bring them together for conferences. We visit their programs. We help support and their community projects. So on our end, we definitely believe that it's important to continue investing deeply into these teachers and their programs. But yeah, we absolutely, believe and call for more industry and business partners to work together and to collaborate with their local skilled trades teachers and programs. And that's one of the aspects of the application is like, who has been an outstanding industry or business partner for you, and how have you collaborated with them, and how can you continue to grow the relationship as well?
What's the timetable to send in an application now? It's pretty close, right? Just a few weeks away, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's just a few weeks away. So we launched this prize back on March 3rd, and the deadline is now May 1st at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, right? So again, it's Friday, May 1st at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's the deadline for the application. So there's just 3 weeks left to get your applications in, or a little less than 3 weeks left to get your applications in. So if you haven't done so, start today. If you're in automotive, construction, welding, HVAC, industrial technology, carpentry, woodworking, welding. If you teach any of those subjects, go to hftforschoolsprize.org, all right, hftforschoolsprize.org to begin or continue your application today.
And Jesse, do we have David on with us now?
I hope so.
Okay, David, are you there?
I am here.
Well, that's great. And you won the grand prize in 2019. How did that change what you do in school with the $75,000 award that came to the school?
Yeah, that sounds like there should be a simple answer to that question. The reality is winning this prize is just the beginning of the process. So regardless of how well funded or not your program is, what you're able to do instantly with that prize money for your students, for your program, it really is kind of a snowball effect. If once you get going, it's exciting for everybody.
And I used to be involved with the VOTEC community and up in New Hampshire back when AAA did the AAA Ford Auto Skills Contest, but that's been long gone and I haven't been up there in a while. But did winning the $100,000 prize change the kind of recognition in your school system, as you guys are pretty cool?
Oh, 100%, and not only just in the district, but across the state. And I think, for Kay and I to become able to come on and talk about, the Harbor Freight Tools for Schools team and the prize, it's really just a matter of, what we do as educators is share opportunities with students. And here we are with an opportunity to share with instructors across not only the state of Massachusetts, but the country.
Yeah, and
John Paul, do you mind if I add to that real quick?
Yeah.
So for these teachers, when we know who our winners are, we start planning these surprise celebrations to all happen on the same day across the country. We have these 25 surprise announcements. I'm sure David can remember his and how much joy there was and excitement because we have these celebrations in the schools and in their classrooms. And for us, it's like the best day of the year. But we found that these celebrations do bring a lot of media attention, but also bring a lot of pride to the school community, to the district, and to the local area. And they want to continue to uplift these winners as well. So yeah, it does brings all these people together for so much communal pride. Absolutely.
Yeah, it really sounds like it. David, do you have like one student success story? And I think the one that jumps out at me is the all-girls garage led by one of your students, right?
So that's another colleague of mine, to give him full credit. Yeah, that would be Scott May.
You can take full credit for it too if you want. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I think that's honestly the best part about this experience is just being able to collaborate with other fantastic instructors, not only just in the Northeast, but across the country. It's an impressive culmination of people that the Harbor Freight Schools for Tools team has put together.
Yeah, I can imagine it really is, and one of the things, and I considered at some point becoming a teacher, and it just wasn't a good fit for me. Is it things like this that on days that maybe aren't going perfectly, you kind of look back and go, yeah, this kind of thing keeps me motivated?
Yeah, and it's certainly, nobody gets into teaching with the expectation of being nationally recognized. But it's if you stay focused on what you're doing for the students, and something of this caliber just motivates you to continue to do better things and kind of push the envelope and see what else you can pull off, then I guess that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm guessing, and you guys sound like you work together pretty regularly almost, but how can partnerships, whether it's Harbor Freight Tools for Schools or other partnerships you maybe have with car dealerships or auto parts stores or whatever, how can you build those long-term collaborations where you guys are, it's not just here's your check, here's a big party, have a nice day, and we'll never see you again. How do you stay in touch and continue to work with each other?
Yeah, and that is the single best part of this prize is that literally the day that you're awarded that prize, and I didn't know it at the time, but that is literally just the beginning, is, all of a sudden you're in this network of amazing instructors across the country. They do a great job of getting us together once a year for a full week. And it's, again, as an educator, it's one of the most motivating professional development experiences that I've been a part of. And just to be able to start the networking with this great group of people. There's nothing like spending a week with like-minded trades teachers that are just kind of the best of the best.
Yeah, and David and I have had a lot of meals and laughs over, at Let's Build It, talking about his program, but talking about life, also talking about the Red Sox, or the Patriots. So, we've had a lot of fun talking about, just the whole spectrum of things. And I think it's just having those personal communal relations, like those community-based relationships that are absolutely essential. But, one thing we do talk about in our prize, right, is like how to continuously improve. And one aspect of it is like We do these like learning module videos on applications, and how to build these partnerships is a key aspect of, these learning modules to continue to grow and improve your teaching. But yeah, I definitely want to say that bringing the teachers together for Let's Build It is just an absolute treat, and exciting to see all the cool things they come up with.
Oh, I bet. And with only 3 weeks left to complete this year's application, either David or Tay, where do people start? Somebody once said to me, it's almost like doing a doctoral thesis. I don't know if it's quite that, but it can take anywhere from, according to your website, it looks like it can take anywhere from several hours to several weeks to complete the application and talk about what you do. For somebody, maybe, where our radio station, our podcast is, around the world, but our radio station's in the South Shore, and if, one of the auto tech teachers from South Shore Votech in Hanover wants to fill out the application, the first part is just getting started. But is there any tips that you can give somebody who's listening to this program, what to do to get started and maybe hopefully win?
Yeah, that's a great question. David, you want to go first, and then I can go from there?
Yeah, and so I can remember, sitting back, and I was actually approached from my director and one of the New Hampshire auto dealers reps at the time to kind of pursue this. And the interesting part about, I think, many skilled trades teachers is we typically let our work do our talking for us. So this was one of the real opportunities where I had to sit down and actually talk about myself, and it wasn't something I was super comfortable doing. So to really sit down and start to break down what I've accomplished, what my students have accomplished, what we're trying to create from the program perspective, it does take time. You do have to kind of pour your heart out and just kind of wear it on your sleeve and talk about what you're trying to accomplish as an educator, and then just continue to kind of brainstorm where you're trying to take things, and whether it's passion or what you're driven by or the student examples. But I will tell you, as time consuming as it may appear to begin with, it is so worth the effort and so worth even the recognition to just apply. Because it will only help you. Let's just say you didn't, weren't recognized with one of the prizes this year. It's only going to help you as you look a little bit.
Yeah, it really sounds it. And Tay, what's your thought on that? Same sort of idea. Kind of really have to kind of look into yourself to, like David said. Most vocational teachers that I know, you're absolutely right. It's about the success of the students. It's about the success of the repair. It's about the house they built for a charity. It's not really about them. But at the end of the day, it is about them. But what advice could you give a potential applicant?
Yeah, I think David really hit the nail on the head there, right? I think in terms of the application, we're looking for people to share their stories. So we start off by asking them to tell us about themselves and what they've experienced in their teaching, but also in their lives, right? We encourage them to brag about themselves and their program as much as possible. Again, we know skilled trades teachers oftentimes are very humble and don't want to brag about themselves. So what we want to do is encourage people to maybe collaborate with someone and have someone to talk and bounce ideas off of, to remind them about all the amazing things that they do, right? And to help bring out some of the things, and whether that's an administrator or that's your partner or spouse or even your own students. Maybe they can talk about what they love and have this kind of still be in your authentic voice, but have it be a collaborative process as well, where you have other people help you remember and help you brag about yourselves, right? But ultimately, we want to hear about all the unique and specific and authentic things that you're doing in your program. And again, we know that the application is rigorous, but the amount of money we're giving and then the amount of money we're investing is also, we think, worth it. And the application process will help you think about ways to improve your program, improve your teaching, but also, you could use this application for other things in terms of recruiting, students, in terms of talking to your district, to leverage more funds. So we think this application is a worthwhile process overall. But yeah, definitely, maybe if you have trouble bringing up ideas for yourself, ask someone for help and help them, lift up your application to help you.
David, do you have a grant writer at your school that helped you with this, or was this all you?
No, I did not. I don't have anyone that's in that role that would help with applications.
But I would think that once you completed this application, if there was grants that your school or the district could apply for, it's already written then, right?
I think a lot of key elements would already be there for sure. So I mean, if people were looking at it with that perspective, again, anything worthwhile is worth putting the time into for sure. Yeah,
absolutely. And David, was there the $75,000 is on any day is a lot of money. Was there one thing at the school that you said, we're definitely going to spend it on this? Was there something out of that money that you were allowed to take that money and go buy, whether it was the latest scan tool or a plasma cutter? I don't know, something.
Yeah. And so basically most of the education, systems I know of is that if I wanted a big ticket item, I need to kind of put it on next year's wish list.
Yep.
Right. And so this gave me the opportunity to spend right now in that moment as myself and the students were able to see fit. And, one of the things that we did, which really boosted the efficiency of the program and accessibility for my students, is instead of having a traditional tool room, which most automotive classes have, we were actually able to outfit an individual toolbox at each course that we have.
Yeah,
we ended up buying 7 toolboxes, outfitting them exactly the same from drawer to drawer, and that was really something where the students could walk in the shop, grab it, get right to work.
And I mentioned before that I was involved with it was called the Plymouth Troubleshoot when I first started a bunch of years ago and became the Ford AAA Auto Skills. And one of the things that I always got, and I don't want to say grief from instructors, but lighthearted, was, well, how about something for us? And there was something for you on this side too, which didn't hurt, right?
Yeah, and I can specifically remember still waking up, and I believe it was a Tuesday. We knew the day they were going to announce the winners. And I remember waking up and thinking, this could be a normal Tuesday, or this could be an absolute game changer of a day. And, the Harbor Freight Schools for Tools for School team had already reached out to a bunch of people in my circle, my own family, and literally nobody gave me a heads up. So I was as surprised as could be when, about 70 people walked into my classroom during my second block class. And, again, the prize is one thing, but the recognition and the pride that your work is being noticed is almost just as equal.
Yeah, I would think it really, really is. What can we look at this, and when I was a kid and I was in high school, I wanted to actually go to trade school, and the guidance counselors kept talking me out of it. What can parents and communities do better to support students that are interested in going into, whether it's auto repair or construction or electrical or whatever? What can they do better to support students that are going into the trades, do you think?
Well, I think that's something that all of the trades have currently been fighting for a while, right? Is what we need people to see is what today's industry looks like, right? We're decades past sort of the gas station garage mentality, and our dealerships are, state of the art, and our classrooms are closely reflecting that. And so we try to do a good job in Portsmouth of getting parents to my classroom, getting students, 8th graders into my classroom so that they can see what today's educational environment is like.
Yeah, no, it really sounds interesting. And Tay, just before we let you go, and it's been about 6, almost 7 years since David won. What does success look like for a school like David's after winning the this award?
That's a really great question. We want our teachers and our programs and schools to feel a great deal of pride for having a prize-winning teacher and being able to, say and announce that. But we also definitely want these schools and communities to realize and recognize the value and impact of skilled trades and skilled trades education, and to think that, that this is of great worth. I think what you mentioned about the parents, like seeing that these are really viable career paths for students that can give them great meaning and purpose and a great paycheck, right? That it's an opportunity for them to use their brains and their hearts to really make a tangible impact and in their community. So I think there's that kind of qualitative, source of pride, but also that, that impact that is tangible and that you can see with the funds and the continued investment in the trades, for sure.
And my boss at AAA just sent out an email this morning, and he wanted to reassure us that, as phenomenal as AI is, it's not going to replace our member-focused, customer-driven relationships. And as good as AI is, it's not going to replace fixing a car, installing
Absolutely.
plumbing, all of those kind of things. So this really is a critical time to invest in workforce and trade education, right?
Yeah, absolutely, right. And we think that, you're right. AI can't fix your car or, do those things, right? And that AI, in terms of like the application, right, like can't replace your own human authentic voice. And that's what we're looking for, is that human passion and compassion that's showcased in your application, and that teachers utilize each day, right? Those authentic, in-depth personal relationships that AI can't replace.
Yeah, and just the physical aspect of doing the job, which is the other part of it. For people that want more information and get this application in, again, where do they go?
All right, so to begin or continue your application, go to hftforschoolsprize.org, or you can follow us on social media, especially on Instagram at hftforschools, or you can just try Googling or searching for Harbor Freight Tools for Schools, and you'll see our websites and our social media, and then you can follow us there to learn more. But again, the deadline to the application is Friday, May 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Well, I want to thank you both for taking your time out of Sunday morning, whether it's 11 o'clock on the East Coast or 8 o'clock on the West Coast. Again, thank you very much. I think this is a phenomenal program, and I want to thank the Harbor Freight Tools for Schools program for putting it together and continuing it. I think it's a great program, and as somebody who repaired cars and tries to help people with car repairs, the idea of skilled trades is so important in this country, and it needs to be continued. We have to do this, or we're going to have a completely throwaway society where nobody fixes anything, and it's really important to be able to do that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having us. Really appreciate it. And
all right.
Hope everyone has a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend, and again, thanks for taking time on your Sunday. We need to take a break, pay some bills. My name's John Paul. This is the Car Doctor program. You're listening on 95.9 WATD. We'll be right back.
Even car geeks and do-it-yourselfers rely on AAA to give them extra peace of mind on the road. AAA offers 24/7 roadside assistance, whether you're in your own vehicle, a friend's car, or even a rental. Combine that with great rates on insurance, hotel, gas, and dining savings, and discounts on 8,700 brands, and you're covered on and off the road. Get a special membership offer today at aaa.com/join. That's aaa.com/join.
Hey there, folks. It's Quinn Kelly reminding you to tune in Sunday night at 5 for the South Shore's first voice in sports talk radio, The Sports Exchange. Unmatched coverage of local high school action as well as a relatable voice on all things Boston Pro Sports. We've got you covered live at 5 every Sunday night. Have a question for our host, missed last week's show, or just want to share a great sports story? You can find us on Twitter at SE on WATD. But remember, mark your calendar, folks, and we'll see you Sunday night at 5 for the Sports Exchange on 95.9 WATD.
Honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. He's John Paul, the Car Doctor, on 95.9 WATD.
And welcome back to the Car Doctor program on 95.9 WATD. And again, if you're a VOTEC teacher, if you're a student, if you're an administrator, if you're a parent, and you just heard this and said, my school can get $75,000. They do 5 grand awards and what'd they say? Another 10 $75,000 awards. So $50,000 goes to the school, $25,000 goes to the instructor. You only have till May 1st. Again, it is something where you need to put a lot of thought into it, but you have 3 weeks to put thought into it. It seems like a fantastic program. And the idea that in Portsmouth, they replaced the tool crib, which never really, to me, worked out that well, and replaced it with individual boxes where tools could be inventoried easily and kept track of, but also you don't have to go wait in line for another 10-millimeter socket that got lost somewhere. You're responsible for it. Just sounds like a great program. I know Blue Hills Regional kind of did the same thing. They did individual boxes, which worked out good. But again, go to the Google Harbor Freight Tools for Schools program. I can only hope that the little bit of money I spent this week on 2 different things at Harbor Freight helps support part of this through the charity. But I know it's completely separate. It's Harbor Freight Tools for Schools is completely separate from Harbor Freight. It's all done through the Eric Schmidt Foundation. But fantastic program. And again, if you were the grand prize award winner, and you said, well, do I have to buy Harbor Freight tools? No, you don't have to. You can buy whatever you want. Take the money and do whatever you want with it, which is fantastic. And the idea that the instructor who put all the time into doing the application can buy something he wants for the school, can buy something he wants for his house, can buy something, to go on vacation. What a fantastic program. And, let's face it, $2 million in total prize money, pretty fantastic. Well, let's talk about the car that got me around this week, and it is a Ford Bronco Sport. And the Ford Bronco Sport is the smaller Bronco, not to be confused with the full-size Bronco, and this happened to be the Badlands edition. So the 2026 Ford Bronco Sport Badlands kind of stands out because it's not pretending to be something it's not. The Bronco Sport, when it first came out in its kind of regular version, I looked at it and I said, it's a Ford Escape with a cowboy hat and cowboy boots. It's not really, is it really an off-road vehicle? Well, yeah, the Badlands stands out because it's, again, not pretending to be anything it isn't. If you want to leave the pavement behind, you want to go off-road, you want to go camping, you want to go do things, the capability there is a real deal. Under the hood, you'll find Ford's 2-liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder engine. It makes about 250 horsepower, which is pretty good, and a solid amount of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission with a twin-clutch 4x4 system. Gives you kind of more ability to do more things. It has something called GOAT, which is not greatest of all time. It goes over any terrain. So you have trail control in GOAT and a decent amount of ground clearance and good approach angles. They have the wheels kind of spread out, so you don't have to worry about banging into stuff if you're going up and down hills. I don't generally go off-road with anything unless I've been told I can, because I don't want to damage a vehicle. this is one that I kind of would have wanted to see how it would go. I have the impression driving over some, soft sand and, places where you could probably take a regular car without getting stuck. But the all-wheel drive system, four-wheel drive system seems to work. On on pavement, the ride's firm. It's kind of what you'd expect. This Badlands edition is meant to go off-road. It looks like it's meant to go off-road. It's got a push bar in the front. It's got places where you can tie things down on the roof. It's pretty aggressive looking. It's probably one of the more solid compact SUVs, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I guess you could call it an SUV. Crossover, maybe, in certain trim of crossover, but it's got to be one of the most solid feeling ones. Again, with the flip of a switch, it makes you a whole lot smarter driver. There's settings for dirt, sand, moderate trails. So in New England, snowy weather shouldn't be a problem. You want to go down to the beach, get that beach sticker and go down. You should be able to do that. Like I said, the ride's a little on the firm side. Tires are pretty aggressive, so they're a little bit noisy. But for daily driving and commuting, it's a kind of real upright, boxy design. It gives you really good visibility all the way around, something that's, getting harder and harder to find on modern SUVs that tend to want to round everything out. This one's pretty easy, even when it has a lot of electronics in it. So I think I pulled it into a parking lot the other day, and I was between like a Ford Excursion and a Suburban. So I was jammed, kind of jammed between two big vehicles. And the idea that I could sort of back out, and all of a sudden the cross-traffic alert started to beep to let me know there was something I couldn't see because I was blocked by bigger vehicles was kind of nice. I took it to another store, farmer's market sort of store, and it's always jammed full of people. The size made it nice to be able to pull into a parking space and more importantly, to pull out of a parking space without having to make 15-point turns, which somebody with a big SUV was doing. This was just in and out, nice and easy. It's practical. Badlands practical on the inside. It has rubberized flooring, so if you're out camping, fishing, hunting, whatever the case is, and it's a muddy day, easy to clean up afterwards. There's a lot of little neat storage, including behind the rear seat. There's a zippered storage pouch where you can put stuff in, zipper it away so you don't see it. There's a bin under the seat, more storage. What's not good about it? The infotainment system. It's big. I mean, it's a 13-inch touchscreen. It looks nice. The cameras are crystal clear. It does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. But in real-world driving, it asks the driver for too much. You're driving down the road and your climate control's set on automatic, but you're like, I don't really need it that much. I just want to turn the fan down. You have to go into the climate control, find the fan button, hit it to turn it down. It's not a button. It's just a spot on the screen. There's a lot of tapping and hunting through menus when maybe something like a knob would be better. I think the only knob, besides shifter knobs and things like that, the only real knob in this is the radio volume. So, I don't know. I throw some old-fashioned knobs in. I think it would be better. But I am critical of that. And maybe it has something to do with my traffic safety background, because when you take your eyes off the road just for a second at 60 miles an hour, you're traveling 87 feet without looking ahead of you. So if you look over and you're like, I want to change from, satellite radio to WATD. So I need to go over, find the radio control, find the source, hit the source button, go to FM, and then find WATD. So it takes, that was probably 3 seconds. So almost 300 feet at 60 miles an hour. It's a long time not to be paying attention. So, that can, some of these things, even when they have voice command, you tell it to do something. You tell a car to do something and it has voice command. Your brain might shut off for 10, 12 seconds waiting for the thing to actually happen. So put some knobs in. It's easier. It's better. I like it better. It's safer to me. The 2026 Bronco Sport Badlands, I think, is one of the most capable, and I think it has the most character of any compact SUV you can buy. I think it would give, any of the Jeeps kind of a run for the money character-wise, and everybody loves Jeeps. Yesterday, a woman who drives a Subaru Outback, who loves her Outback, but she was looking for something a little bit different, a little more kind of trucky kind of, but more of a squared off design. She was looking at it and said, "Oh, I love that. That's, I think that's something that, is really, really something to look at." So if Ford simplified the infotainment system in the future and brought back some actual controls, this would be easily a class leader. Until then, it's still a strong choice for people who want to get off the beaten path and just ready to spend a little extra time learning how to use all of the electronics in it. Remember, you got to try all the tech. You got to play with everything. Road test the tech. It's important. And remember, the best vehicle is the one that matches how you actually drive and the places you want to go. So if you're somebody who wants to go off-road, this could be a good choice. If you're somebody who only looks like they want to go off-road, maybe not the best choice. Maybe just a regular Bronco Sport is maybe something you want to look at. Our phone number is 781-837-4900, 781-837-4900. Let's talk to Mary in Kingston. Mary, good morning.
Hi, John. Good morning. I have a question about my 2007 Toyota Corolla. It only has 142,000 miles on it.
Okay.
And just a week ago, it started to run poorly. I brought it to our mechanic, and they pulled it up on their machine, and they were not able to repair it because they do not have the specialized Toyota equipment. What came up in the computer was P0606, and then it was engine control module and power control module. My question is, I am bringing it to the Toyota dealership. I'm wondering how much this might cost, and is it worth it?
Is it worth it? I think so. I think it's worth it. It depends what they're really going to find, though. I mean, that's kind of where the problem is. The idea that you said it was P0606. Usually, it's unusual, and usually that indicates some sort of failure in the engine control module.
Yeah.
It's not that. I mean, modules can go bad. Absolutely, they can go bad. But a lot of times, what happens is, more times than not, it's a wiring problem. So some poor connection, something that's not working quite right. That's more of what you see than you don't sometimes. And that's kind of the direction I would try to look in for this, because I mean, it's an older car. What's it really worth?
Yeah, it's only worth. I just got the Carfax, $1,790. But it's the perfect car for me to just run around Kingston and Plymouth. It's perfect.
Yeah. So even though you. And how, I guess the other thing is, I'm guessing it's not running well. It's got poor power, maybe hard to start.
No, it started fine. It's funny. I'm just driving along, and all of a sudden, it kind of, to me, coughed, and I was like, "Oh, that's weird." It always runs smoothly. I had no problem with it. It has no major accident, and we always have all the tires and exhaust and spark plugs, all that stuff done. So it's been well taken care of, and I'd like it to last another 5 years.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I think at the Toyota dealer, and your mechanic probably says I can't program a module, can't program a computer is probably what he means. He
Right,
doesn't
yeah.
have the programming for it.
Yeah.
I would guess even at the dealer, maybe maximum $1,600.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And,
I was hoping it wouldn't be like $6,000.
No, because a new, I mean, if it is an ECM, if it is a computer, probably in the $1,000 range, another hour or so to program it, and then, an hour or so to install it, and, maybe even add in some diagnostic time. So,
yeah.
I would guess something like that. But I would be, before I automatically condemn the computer, I would want to just make sure all the wiring is intact the way it should be. There isn't any, crusty looking wiring that, it's got a little nick in it and things rusted out, and the wiring's not making a good connection. Even the plug that goes to the computer can be a problem. So, those kind of things is what makes things add up and get expensive. So,
John, wouldn't I trust that the dealership would do those things?
You would hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, and the one kind of, I don't want to say weird thing is, this is almost an old car for them to work on.
Oh, I know. I
yeah.
know.
So,
yeah, I know.
so they may look at this and go, oh well, So, but I would, I would give it a shot. And if the car is, and I'm sure your regular mechanic would tell you this, but if the car is structurally sound, in other words, they looked under it and said, it doesn't look like you're going to need any major things in the next couple of years, well, then it would make sense to fix it. I just looked up the actual computer for this, and according to Toyota's website, if it's there's two different possible computers for this. If it's a USA built car, it's $724. If it's a Japanese built Corolla, it's $648. So parts wise, it's not that expensive to take care of it. And labor wise, a couple hours labor to replace it would be about all it is. So I got to think, under, in that $1,500 range, you could fix it. And even though putting $1,500 into, how much did you say the car was worth when you looked it up?
Almost $1,800.
Yeah. So yeah, and normally we would say that's crazy to put the cost of a repair into a car that's only worth the cost of repair. But for a car that meets all your needs, has 150,000 miles on it, does the job the way it's supposed to, and you're comfortable with it, and you could get another couple of years out of it, I would put the money into it.
Yeah, and one of the mechanics had said if his shop could have repaired it, he would have taken it for his grandson. So he knows that structurally, I mean, that's the wrong word, but it's in good shape.
No, that's a good sign. I would go there, and I would bring as much of your mechanic's information with you just to give it to the dealership so they know what's been tested ahead of time, just so they have it.
Okay. Oh, John, thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Mary.
All right,
okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We need to take another break. You're listening to the Car Doctor program on 95.9 WATD. We'll be right back.
Even car geeks and do-it-yourselfers rely on AAA to give them extra peace of mind on the road. AAA offers 24/7 roadside assistance, whether you're in your own vehicle, a friend's car, or even a rental. Combine that with great rates on insurance, hotel, gas, and buying savings, and discounts on 8,700 brands, and you're covered on and off the road. Get a special membership offer today at AAA.com/join. That's AAA.com/join.
Tune in to 95.9 WATD Monday nights at 9 p.m. to hear Massasoit Today. An hour dedicated to introducing you to the students, staff, and faculty of Massasoit Community College. Each show, you'll hear uplifting stories, discover the latest news, and learn more about the community that makes up Massasoit Community College. Monday nights at 9 p.m. on 95.9 WATD.
Make an appointment Sunday morning at 11 for John Paul, the Car Doctor, on 95.9 WATD. Now, back to the Car Doctor.
And welcome back to the Car Doctor program on 95.9 WATD. We have about 6 minutes left of the program if you want to join us and talk about whatever's on your mind about cars and car problems. Sometimes people send me things. Sometimes I buy things. I was at, of all places, Marshall's the other day. And I was kind of wandering through the store. I was actually wandering through the store looking for my wife, who I guess we're in different departments and we didn't see each other. And there was a compact electric screwdriver from a company called Fantic, I think, Fanttik, and it's just this little compact screwdriver. It is one of the neatest little tools I've seen, and it was probably more expensive than I would normally pay for something like this. And what I try to do sometimes is if someone sends me a tool to test out, I try to test it out so I can tell you if it's good or bad, so you can either buy it or not buy it. This thing was called, I think it's called the Fantic S1 Pro. What's kind of neat is it's relatively small. It's got pretty good torque in it. I wish it had torque settings. It also has another tube that comes with it, and this thing's only about an inch around and probably 6 or 7 inches long. Comes with another tube with a bunch of different bits in it. They're longer bits for easy use of things. The cover that comes on the tool has 6 or so double-sided bits in it. It's also a kind of this same 5-sided drive, I guess, hex drive. So you can use other 1/4-inch hex drives. So you can use other things in there like sockets and stuff like that. It's pretty powerful for the size. I was surprised how powerful it really is. So you have to be a little bit careful when you're running I took a little electronic thing apart with it this morning, and you have to be a little bit cautious with it. I just looked it up on Amazon, and it's selling for $59, I guess. It was $30 at Marshall's. And, I came out of the store, and my wife came out, and she said, "What did you buy in Marshall's?" And I said, "I bought a cordless screwdriver." She said, "Why? Why did you buy a cordless screwdriver?" I'm like, "I think it was a good deal." And I'm not sure it was a great deal, but I can tell you it's pretty neat. It doesn't take up any room. It's something if you were doing some work around the house or under a dash or needed to take something apart and you kind of only had holding something with one hand and you can only hold it with the other hand, and it kind of makes it easy to spin something on and off with it. Again, you could stick it in your pocket or a tool belt or anything. It's not going to take up any room. It charges with a USB-C port. I don't know. It was probably a dumb thing to buy, but it seemed like a good deal. And like I said, I've only used it. I've only bought it just the other day. They sell all kinds of different stuff, but this one seemed pretty neat. They also have one that's almost the size of a pen, I think. But pretty amazing how good it worked for how small it is. I haven't kind of run it out of electricity yet, so I don't know how long it would last. But as a kind of not quite precision screwdriver, because I don't think this one's pretending to be that, but it's a pretty neat little tool. And again, they didn't send it to me. It's just something that I saw, and I said, I used to have I've had cordless screwdrivers over the years and probably the same thing's going to happen with this someday, is the battery's going to go dead, but now they all have lithium-ion batteries in them, so the battery's going to last a lot longer. But I always found a cordless screwdriver handy if you're disassembling a bunch of little tiny screws or medium-sized screws. It isn't anything you'd use to, run a screw into a 2x10. Although I did try it, but don't do that. It's not made for that. Well, that music from Jesse Wilkins means it's time for us to go. And for all of you celebrating Orthodox Easter, happy Easter. And Jesse, happy Easter. Good luck with the red eggs.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Until next week, make sure you wear your seatbelt, drive safely, be good to your car, and if you do see an emergency vehicle by the side of the road, slow down or move over. It saves lives. Talk to you all next week. Bye-bye.